Hello, good day, and welcome to our monthly session, um, Wednesdays with William. Today, what we're going to be doing is what's new in Sage 300 version 2017. For those of you who are familiar with these web sessions, I'm William Wingson, and on the agenda today, we are going to be discussing or showing you what's new in Sage 300 because of the product update to 2017. We'll also show what's new because of the product update 1. And since often people do not upgrade each edition every year, I will also include features from 2016 and 2014, some of them anyway. So let's get started. I would like to go directly to the product at this point, and I will go to my virtual image here. You will see Sage 2017 open. One of the things that was changed is the help menu. So it would, when you click on the product documentation, it will open a web address, and there you would see all the files, all the PDF files that you're used to, the user guides for the various programs. So they have tried to make it a little bit easier, and I guess put things out this way. So it's opening up now. So currently 2018 was just released a couple of days ago. I am focusing on 2017. So here you would see, if you expand this, you would see the various user guides. So if I click on user guides, I would see accounts payable, etc., receivables, bank, etc. So it is, again, these PDF files, it's still stored in a folder. So if you wanted to find it another way, the old-fashioned way, if you want to call it that way, you can go to wherever you have your program files installed. In my case, it's under the C drive, Sage, and where my programs are. And inside here, I will see there's a folder called Docs. And here is where all the PDF files are located. Now, internally, the code for 2017 was 6.4a. For the payroll module, it's 7.3. So if I click on 6.4a under ENG, which means English, because we do support different languages, simplified Chinese, French, and also Spanish, you'll see here the PDF files. So here is where you would see your accounts receivable, user guide, etc. So that's the help files. As you notice, it looks a little bit different, right? It's basically the same thing. The other thing I want to point out here is where you submit product ideas. And I think this is it's an important thing to use. Often customers say, I wish Sage 300 would have this in it. Well, this is where you would create your wish list. And somebody might have already entered some stuff inside here. So if you can find a thing where a suggestion was already made, then all you have to do is vote on it. One simple example is for the finder, right? Sometimes I put a criteria on my finder, and it would be nice to know if there's a criteria. So there's just 2 votes on it, although I put it 7 months ago. So if you want to vote for something like this, you just have to create a login using an email and then sign in and vote. Okay, I have tried to vote many times for my own, but it doesn't work that way. It's based on each email. So unless I was prepared to create different emails, which I wasn't, so I can only vote just once for each item. I tried voting twice, and when I vote again, it reduces the number of votes. So you could only vote once. So again, my idea was that when I go into my Sage, and let's say I wanted to do, let's say, a simple little thing like an account, for example, and I wanted to look up an account, right? If I do have inactive accounts, I might not want to be viewing the inactive account. It might be inactive for some reason. I might have some, let's see, I don't think I have any active accounts, but let's say I wanted to look at only income statement accounts or something like that. So I can go under criteria and set the criteria for whatever I'm using. So let's say it's to type. So I go under type and I select add. So I club inside here and I want to do, let's say, balance sheet, or so I'm only going to see balance sheet accounts. I'm going to save that and hit OK. So now what I'm going to see here is only balance sheet accounts. If I scroll down at the bottom, I will not see income statement accounts, which I know I have. So only balance sheet accounts, right? Now, so there is a criteria set here. So what happens is I don't know there's a criteria unless I click on this and I see the criteria, which I can clear at this point. So the idea, my suggestion is, rather than opening it up and seeing if there's a criteria, if this was to be blue or some other color, then I know when I open up my Finder that somebody has put a criteria in there. So maybe not all the information is there. So that was the idea, and you can suggest your own ideas, etc., in this area here. And as you can see, Sage is listening. So we have to give a voice to our wish list, etc. So I highly recommend you use this. Okay. So that's another help, one of the features to make the help more useful. Okay. One of the things is under the licenses, under License Manager. If I were to go to my license tab inside here, there's a new column inside here for the number of users or count. And this is if you have licenses based on the number of users, for example, payroll. So that is one area where you can see how many licenses you have. 999 means I have unlimited number of employees I can set up. Okay. One of the improvements in the product update 2017, product update 2, was an improved item finder. So if you're using inventory control, or it doesn't matter, as long as you're finding an item, for example, let's say in order entry, I was going to create, or I'm creating an order. As soon as the screen opens up, I'll wait, I'll be patient, and let's say for this order, I'm going to type in a customer number, tab, and I'm going to find an item number. I click on the Finder here, so that will open up the Finder for me. And here, you will see different fields have been added in the version, the product update 2. So you have fields like quantity on hand, quantity on purchase orders, quantity on sales, quantity available, etc. So if you just move to the right a little bit, all those fields have been added in the Finder. Okay, quantity committed, etc. So there's an improvement here, giving you more information, so you can make a decision whether that order, that item is available. So whether you want to sell that item or suggest another item. One of the other features is in 2017 product update 2 is one that most people would find useful. It's the ease of setup of email, and especially if it's like if you're using what do you call it? If I'm using something like Gmail or something like that. So to see that, you would have to go under Common Services, go to Company Profile, and there is a new tab inside here called Email, and this is how you would set up the email. So, and you can also, if I wanted to test the email, so let's go to William. Tab. And now I can send a test email which will confirm that this is working. So once it is sent, all you have to do is I can minimize this if I wanted to. The email was successfully sent. I could quickly go to let's say my email here. Where is it here? Maybe I have it open already. And here is the test email that I just sent. So I know it's working. Okay, so that's a very quick thing that you can do. So it makes it easy to set up your email, now having that tab in the common services. Okay, another feature that was added is more flexibility to change the national accounts. So national accounts, as you know, it provides you with an easy way of applying receipts to invoices, for example, that you have different companies but have the same head office. So you might invoice each company separately, but the head office then gets the bills and might pay the bills for both subsidiaries. And now you would have to apply it to the different subsidiaries. So that is easy to do if you have national accounts, which you have to pay for separately. Okay, so I'm just going to go inside here and make sure that, so I'm going to look at these, my finder, I'm going to look at the two customers. Wait a minute, where am I? I'm looking for, no, I want to be under customers, not accounts. So I could scroll up a little bit. Customers, yeah, like this. Now, when I click on the finder, I will see there are different national accounts and there's outstanding amounts. So what I can do is I can quickly, if I wanted to change this national account, I would find this one in question. I could click on this. It'll give me a confirmation. So I'm going to change it to this one here, right? Select. And it's giving me a confirmation saying, look, if you want to do this, then the outstanding will remain with the old national account. Do you want to change it? Are you going to say yes? So now this account has been changed. I can save this. The save button is right to the bottom down here. I can click on that, and that is saved. Okay. So what that means, or how it would work, I should say, is if I had, let's say, a receipt. I'm going to create a batch in receipt batch. I'm going to open a new one. Okay. So once that is opened out, I will, let's say, select the national account, which is Bargain Mart, right? And if I receive money, I can see here that I can apply that invoice to two different customers, right? So these two customers are associated with that national account. You can invoice the customers separately, but when you get a check from head office, it can be easily applied to the different subsidiaries. So that's so the ability to change the national accounts is a lot easier. Before, what you had to do was go in and clear out the account, which means if you had open invoices, you would have to do credit notes, zero out the account, and then change the national account. This is a lot easier. Okay. Okay. The other thing is in the PO receipt entry screen, you can now, if you enter an invoice and it's a duplicate, it will give you a warning message saying that this is a duplicate invoice. So before, what happened is if you went into purchase orders and you entered an invoice and it was a duplicate, you will not discover this error until you post it in purchase order, and then when it goes into accounts payable, then you would discover the error. So again, why wait till it's so late, and then you have to go and fix it. So if you go, I will show you that. If I go to purchase orders, PO transactions to be particular, I'm going to go into receipt entry. I'm going to enter, let's say 1400, tab. And I don't have a purchase order number. Let's say I pick an item. All this is not really necessary to demo what I'm about to do, but I'm just going to add it in for the sake of completeness. I need a location, and let's say 5 items. Okay. When I'm ready to do the invoice, I'm going to enter an invoice number that I know already exists for this vendor. So I'm going to type in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to hit enter, and now enter tab. It says to give me an error message. The invoice 1345667 already exists, right? So I should change the number in some way or the other. So again, this would save you time by not having to put in the invoice here maybe by accident, and then when it goes over into AP, then complain about a duplicate invoice number. Okay, so that is another feature that was put in place in the product update 2, 2017. The next thing people have been asking about is import templates. As you know, business partners use the import feature quite a bit, and sometimes our clients want to know how to use it. Again, there is no, or at least before this product update 2, there was no templates to say, well, these are the minimum fields that are required before you can import. The suggestion was always to export something, then you would get the template, and then you would just add rows to it and then import it in. But now with 2017 product update 2, what Sage has done is they have given us import templates. So to find those import templates, you go to your shared, wherever you have your shared data. In my case, it's going to be under, nope, it's not going to be there. It's going to be under Sage shared data. And if I go, there will be a folder inside here called import templates. So this is where you would see now templates. So if you wanted to enter a, let's say, credit note or something like that, or import it, then what you would have to do is fill out the information in the Excel file, and then you'll be able to import the document. So again, they give you, this is for the invoice, this is for invoice detail, and if there was a payment schedule involved, then you have another tab. So you have been given templates to assist you in building files that you can import into Sage 300. Okay, and again, it's found under a folder called import templates, located in a shared folder. Back shared. Now, if you're not sure where your shared folder is, then what you can do is you can go to help, go to, let's say, about Sage, and look for system information, and it would tell you where the shared data is here, the shared data directory. So you can always find out where it is if you're not sure, whoever set up the system, where the shared data is located. Now, there is also some other features. One I can show you is the improve error message at day end processing. So if an error does occur, the error message is a little more friendly, in the sense that it's easier to diagnose. It's easier to diagnose the issue or the problem, if there's a problem. Okay. Now, in the product update 2, there's a number of features that comes with the web screens. So if you're using web screens, there's things like new order entry web screens, improve navigation in tables. Now you can use the left arrow, the right arrow up and down. Right? If you're in a table, you can easily look up accounts receivable documents. There's some additional tax-related fields, especially if you're in Malaysia or Singapore. You can do credit, custom checks now, etc. So There's also something you can have additional security for the web API security organization authorization, I should say. Okay, you can see this in the desktop or in the desktop version. If you just go to administrative services, if you go to security groups, I have many things open. I'm just going to close down that security groups. So for all the modules, if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see Sage 300 Web API. Okay, so again, that's a new option, giving certain people might want rights to do that, etc. Now, I'm sure you would have heard or would have gotten an email saying that as of October 1st, 2017, any new people using Sage, the only Sage 300 product that will be sold is Sage 300C. So they'll be no longer be selling Sage 300. Now, what does that mean for you? Well, you can just use Sage 300, the typical or the traditional desktop. You can still use that. You will still get that. But what you will get in addition to that is you will be able to get the web screens, which you can implement if you have a web server. Okay, and therefore you can access the data remotely. Whatever you do in the web screens, you will automatically see that data in your traditional desktop. It goes to the same database. Okay, but now your reach for using the program is extended with the web screens. You could be anywhere. Typically, people like to portray people lying on a beach, working on their iPad or something like that. I am a little more, I tune out sometimes, so if I go to the beach, I go to the beach. Anyway, but some people like to work from the beach, so great. Now you can do it with the web screens. Also with product update 2, you can see all the previous stuff that I mentioned. With product update 1, with the web screens, you get the Sage Intelligence Reporting Cloud. So if you want to do intelligence, that is also available. Okay, there's constant improvement on the web screens because Sage feels that's the direction that people are going in, so they want to give people options. Okay. In 2016, there is a new user authorization report. So if you have not upgraded to 2016 as yet, you will see, or you're going to 2017 from, let's say 2014 or something like that. Now you will find under administrative reports, there will be under here you would see a report for user authorization. So what you can do is you can print a traditional simple report by not selecting security authorization or UI profile customization. You just click on the print button, and what that will do, it will say which user has the particular group ID attached to them for a module. However, you can get more information. So you can also click on security user authorization, and when you run the same report, you now will get what exactly is available to that user, not just the name of the group ID. Okay, so for this particular person, you notice that they have all these rights, right? For the AP clerk, they will have something else. So again, just make it a little bit easier to access data. Also, while I'm in this area here, I would like to talk about there is an option now where non-administrative users can get access to the DB copy and the DB dump utilities. So again, if you are in the middle of doing something that's critical and you want to back up the data, You don't want to wait till midnight when it automatically backs up on your server. You might want to do a database dump. So in order to do that, you can see here that rights could be assigned to you if you are even if you are not an administrator. So before you had to be admin in order to do this. So if you look here under the security groups, and if I go under administrative services, and if I scroll down, I will see here I have under administrative services, let's go back to this. Right. And database load, database dump. So those two options are available to be assigned to people who are non-administrators then. Okay. There are some bank, you're seeing changes to the banks in bank services. Okay, they added a post button under the reconcile icon. So if I go to, again, common services, bank services, bank transactions, and if I open up the reconciliation statement, here you would see, to make it darker so you can see it more clearly, there is a post button inside here. So this person can then reconcile the bank and then post it. Okay, this feature of having the post button in a lot of entries has been added several places in accounts payable, in accounts receivable, and also in the GL, of course. But in the batch list, in addition to that, where you can, there's a post all button. Okay, so before, let's look at an AR transaction. Let's open up the invoice batch list. So you will see the post all button. So for example, if you wanted to post many batches at once, you no longer have to set ready to post yes, then move out to the screen, go and open up the post batches screen, and then select all the batches you want to post. And this could be arranged. It will only post batches that have the status ready to post set to yes. Okay, so you don't need to do that anymore, which makes this a little less useful, I should say. Because if you are in the invoice batch list and you want to post many batches, you just click on yes, yes, and then you hit post all, and the posting process will begin. Okay, and I also want to demonstrate to you, let's open up this batch here. So I'm opening up a AR invoice batch. There is a post button down here. So if I were to enter a customer number and add an invoice, for example, okay, I can do different types. Let me just do a summary quickly. And I'm just going to make up or put in some account inside here. So I think I might have, let's say, some account like this, 61110. Okay, I would not normally do this, but let's say $100, something like that. So when I add this, and if I don't move forward, but I did in this case, if I go back here, you will see there's a post button. Keep in mind, some people are a bit confused by this. The post button is for the whole batch. You do not post entry by entry. So although it appears, it looks like if it's on a particular entry screen, it will post the whole batch. Now, again, I've had some people mention to me, well, you know, what is the point of doing this? Because we want a separation of process. We want somebody to be entering the batches. Then it's approved by somebody else. So why did you all, meaning Sage, put that post button there? Well, if you want to keep your flow in as you do in your particular company, you can still do that. For example, if I wanted to give person rights to do just data entry, right, and I don't want them to be able to post, I can still come inside here, hit File, Customize, and let's say if I select a working profile, right? Now, if you notice, if I were to uncheck this box here, you notice that down here, the post button is now disappeared. So what I can do is I can give this right to this UI profile to the for a particular user. When they log in, they won't be able to click on the post button. They will definitely be able to enter journal entries or invoices, credit note, etc., but they won't be able to post the batch. So that might be more in keeping with the flow of your particular company. While I'm on this topic of security, if you notice here, I have the ability in accounts receivable to do refund checks. So if a customer they paid you and they want to get back their money, you could write a check back to them. Some people have issues with this. Some people say, well, in accounting, we need to have separation of duties. Therefore, people doing accounts receivable should not be writing checks. This is a problem that can be easily solved. All you have to do is, when you set up the accounts payable person, you give them rights to the refund batch and the refund entry, even refund inquiry if you wish. And the people who are in receivables do not give them rights to it. So therefore, the accounts payable person, they are the ones who can do a check back for a refund check back to a customer. Why would we want to, why is it in this area in receivables? Simply because in the receivables, you have all the information, the name and address of the customer. Some systems, what they do is they actually go into accounts payable and create a vendor for that particular customer and then pay them from accounts payable. We find this roundabout and not very efficient. Okay, but again, I do understand when people want that separation of duties that is so critical in bigger organizations, that this system will still be able to handle that through the security measures. Okay, there has been some speed enhancements. If you're in the bank services and you're looking up checks or receipts when you go to do a reverse transactions. So if I go to common services, again, bank services, bank transactions, and reverse transactions, right? So let's say for a particular bank, I'm going to do some sort of reversal of a check. But when I hit here, let's say vendor, let's say 1400. Oh, not 1200. Let's type in 1400. And when I click on the finder here, this has speeded up quite a bit. So it's a lot faster than it was before. So again, this is an enhancement in 2016. Also, the quick clearing screen. Again, we have made it a lot faster to do. Okay, the quick clearing screen, of course, is if you were reconciling statements, and let's say you have a bunch of checks that you are certain have been cleared. For example, the payroll checks you put in funds just before payroll is issued. When you process the payroll checks being handed to employees, all of them might have been cleared because there's no more money left in that account until the next pay period. Then you should be fairly sure that people cashed all their payroll checks. Okay, so the quick, if you wanted to quickly, let's pick some sort of bank here, go to reconciliation. The quick clearing is working a lot faster now, so you can clear the checks a lot faster. Okay. There's a number of other changes that we can mention. in the 2014, there were some changes for the land packs and the licenses, right? If we look at help, let's go to the licenses, or let's go to current users. That's even I can also access that from here, but I can go directly from here. Here you can see where you can see what screens people are using. So, and you can also, as part of this process, you can also end the activity for a particular user. So, in order to demonstrate this, I might want to log in twice. So I want to log in as somebody else. So I'm going to open up Sage again, right? And this time I'm going to log in as admin. Sorry, let's do Susan. And again, I hopefully pass. Okay, and so I logged in as admin, and also, oops, what is your password? Let's try that. Hopefully, yes, I think I got it right this time. So we can see this is Susan login, and I also log in as admin. So if I go back here, it doesn't matter where I do it from. I go to help. I go to, let's say, current users. I can see where they're logged in, right? So if for some reason I want to kick Susan out because what happened is Susan is using the web screen. She's at home. She went to walk the dog and forget to log out. So I'm in the middle of something and I need to have everybody out of the system. So typically we highly recommend that you call or email the person, try to get in contact with them. Kicking them out is a last resort. So if I did want to kick them out, however, I can do that. I can select that person here and just click on the sign out, right? And then I would have to have the admin password, which is of course top secret. Okay. Oh, right. So here we go. So now, okay. So Susan is no longer logged into the system here. Okay. So she would be out of the system. So that's one way of removing somebody from the system. Okay, but again, this is a last resort. You would only do this after you have tried to contact them, etc. Okay, one of the new features is notes, right? Now, we have notes. It's up here in, well, there's a live chat, of course, that was added, but right here, there's notes. Now, notes, you can add notes for customers, you can add notes for vendors, you can have notes for items. So when I click on this for notes, this will expand. I can add a note. Okay, if you did create a note for a customer or vendor, what would happen? So if I go here, click on this, the customers, I can look at all the active notes. Okay, if I hit the go button, I see customer, let's say 1400, right? I can add stuff, or I can edit stuff, I can put stuff inside here, etc. So what this could be used for example, we have a customer who is only going to be handled by a particular person in our company. They have a special relationship. So when somebody else tries to create an invoice, or whenever we look up, let's say a purchase order, or sorry, if it's a customer, let's say a sales order for that particular customer, the note is going to pop up automatically. Okay. Now, one of the drawbacks which I have noticed is that if you create the note at the transaction level in, let's say, order entry, when I select the customer, the note will pop up. Okay, so I'm going to just close these notes down, close all windows here. Close all windows. So a bit slow today. Confirmation. You want to save the changes to the note? Yes. Right? Yes. And I'm going to close all these. If I go to, let's say, order entry, where is it? And yeah, let's say I'm creating an order for this particular customer. So as soon as I type in 1400, for this customer, 1400 tab. Notice that, oh, no, not the order, sorry. I want to do, let's see, oops, okay. I should have just left it as new. Let's see, here I want to put in 1400 tab. Right. Now you would notice that the note thing would pop up automatically, and you can see the note I just added to here. Okay. What the drawback right now is in the order entry for customers, in purchase orders for vendors. If you do the same thing in, let's say, accounts receivable, so let's say you go to do a transaction, like create an invoice, for example, in accounts receivable, you type in the customer number, you do not get it doesn't pop up. The only place it pops up in the accounts receivable is the when I'm doing a customer, and I type in the customer number, then it will pop up. So I've already put in a suggestion to have this feature expanded to the transaction level in the various models and the various in the modules where we have transaction, namely AR and AP. Okay, so if you have time, go in and vote for these suggestions, so that it will increase in ranking, and it might be implemented sooner than later. So people who have just the financial modules will be able to use this more than they are using it now, because they mightn't have OEICPO, for example. Okay, so those are just some of the features I wanted to discuss today. Of course, there are more features that we can go into in more detail, but there's only so much we can do with our time. So what I wanted to do is, let me get to this, make it full screen so that you can see that. Okay, and see if you have any questions or answers. Okay, what I will do now is go straight to point out that we have this video will be placed on our website at karenbusiness.com, and we also have other videos that we have recorded. If you have any suggestions as for future sessions, Wednesdays with William, please feel free to contact me. This is my email address, william.wingston@karenbusiness.com. And you can also, we also have our website there, which you can use to contact us. So wishing you a good day, and see you in the next session with Wednesdays with William. Bye for now.